Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you how to make something really fun that you all might remember from your childhood, the friendship bracelets. So let's go. You will need embroidery floss in several colors. This is my color palette. You may need a tape measure or ruler. You will need scissors, and then you need a way to affix your project to a surface as you're working on it. So I'm going to tape it to the table. You can also hook it. It's going to have a loop at the top, so you can hook it around something like a chair, or even like when I was a kid I used to hook the loop to my toe and stick out my leg and work on it like that. So whatever you want to do. So first thing we're going to do is take our strands and measure them out. So I like to just have extra because I hate to run out halfway through. So I am going to measure my strands to be about as long as this tape measure. This is a 60-inch tape measure. I'm just going to go with that. So I'm going to measure out each one of my 5 colors here to be 60 inches. And cut it. So I'm doing white, this buttercup yellow, this kind of marigold, this kind of caramely color, and then the sky blue. And have fun picking your colors. Then as for the type of embroidery floss, I'm not going to say it matters a ton because you can use it out of any. You can use any. But I have had it kind of knot up on me when I use that cheaper like craft embroidery floss. And the good silky stuff like the DMC brand and the nicer brands are still really cheap. So I would just get the nice stuff because that when it's not that silky texture, it kind of like grips onto itself and starts like the strands start separating and forming these crazy clumps, and I would just not mess with that stuff. But if you have some, you could definitely use it. You can get some DMC floss on our website, by the way. If you go to shoppindrop.com, we have some DMC embroidery floss on there. You can find it a lot of places. It's pretty common for cross stitch and embroidery. You can also do hair wraps with it. Alright, we're almost there. I'm just measuring out these. That one was a little short, so it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Okay, and our sky blue color here. Okay. Wonderful. So I measured one of the strands, and then it's real easy to just pull the remaining strands through your hands like that to measure each strand to the original strand like that. So now I have my little bundle here. So now what you're going to do is take this bundle you made of the 5 strands and fold it in half. So there's a loop at the top, but the ends, like bring the ends together. Like here's the end, hold that together and pull this so that your loop at the top is centered. Okay, so there's the loop at the top. So now we're going to take this and tie it in an overhand knot. So you're just going to take it, and loop it around in a circle like that, and then bring that up under that, like that. And then pull this so that your little loop at the top is only like an inch or less. So I'm just kind of working that knot upward so it can land up there. Okay, right about there looks good. Okay, so now we're ready to start, and I'm going to tape this to the table. And as you work it, probably will come off if you do it this way, and you'll just have to redo it a few times. It's okay. Now we're ready to begin our first knots. So I want to start, you could start with whatever colors you like. I'm going to start with my caramel color. And I'm going to use the strand that wasn't accidentally too short. Okay. So I've separated out my color I want to use from the rest of the bundle. So this bundle here is going to act like it's just a straight post. Like it just sits there, it's not going to do anything really. This is the one that's going to do the action, the caramel color one. So how I learned this, I remember being in the car on vacation to somewhere and my aunt teaching me this. You create a 4. So I have brought this brown one over the other strands like that. See how it looks like the number 4 kinda? So you create a 4, and then with this tail that's over here, that's going to come up under the bundle and through this hole from behind. So I'm going to lift up the bundle just so I can get that to come under the bundle and through that hole from back to front like that. Okay, now I'm holding onto this bundle with my right hand as I take my left hand and tighten that caramel color one up. And I'm gonna kind of hold this and pull this way and kind of pull up toward the top because I want that little knot to slide up. So what we're doing is covering the bundle with the color that we're using. Okay, so let's do it again. So create the 4. Here it is. And then hold on to the bundle, just lift it up off the table slightly. So, and you can even grab right here, kind of keep it all together right at that cross point, so that you can bring this strand end behind the bundle and up through from back to front through that hole that was made by that 4. Okay. And then you tighten it. So then you hold this with your right hand or however it works for you, and then with your other hand, pull upward and pull tight. You can even kind of take your, push it like that. So we're just going to do this over and over. This is all you do. You just make your 4 and you just slide it up. Make your 4, slide it up. And you'll see something awesome start to happen. The knots that you're making will start to go in a spiral around the bundle, and they just do that naturally. So it's pretty cool, and it makes it look like you did something fancy or intricate, and it's just the way it happens. So we're going to continue tying these knots until your caramel color or whatever color you're using, until this section is big enough to your liking. So I just go until I like the way it looks, and then each time I just kind of eyeball it to make the next one the same, or you can make them different. You can make them all random. You could get out your tape measure and you could measure each section if you wanted to be more precise. It's not really my style. I just kind of go with it, but you do you. So I'm gonna go until I already made the one for my friend, so this is gonna be the one for me. And when I did hers, I believe each section, just going by my eyeball, was about 1.25 inches or so. I have little measurements on my body that I use, so if I take my knuckle like this from here to here, I think is about 1.25 inches. So you can find measurements on your own body as well, so that you know how to measure things when you don't have a ruler. so when I'm just like, it looks like about like that, then that's what I use. So when you get to the point that you are happy with the size of the section, we'll switch colors. See how that spiral's just happening all on its own? If you pull them nice and tight, this spiral happens on its own. If you get a little messy, it'll get messed up, and you can actually kind of just barely coerce it back into shape. It wants to go that way. So if you just kind of barely mess with it, it'll fall into its little spirally shape. Now see how I have little bits of yellow showing here? That's because I was going like kind of too fast and I wasn't taking my time with making each one tight. So the more time you take in making these tight and even, it'll look nice. So you can see when, like how I really do it, I don't sit there and make a 4 each time. Like it's a real quick motion once I get used to it. I just kind of hook my finger in there and just do this. See that? Hold on the back to kind of hold it there, push it up. You just get into this quick little knot tying motion. And you'll find that. It's like with everything, the more you do it, the more comfortable and efficient you will get. Okay, so that looks like about the size that I would like each section to be. A couple more. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my next color, which is going to be my marigold color. So now that caramel color, it's just going to become part of the bundle. And now we're going to separate out one of the marigold color and just start doing knots with that color. And that's really all there is to it. Okay, so I have completed my 5 sections. We have the caramel, the marigold, the buttercup, the white, and the blue. So now we're gonna do the finishing. So here's how you know when you're done. So you wrap it around your wrist and see how from the end of the loop to where we just ended, it's a little bit, see, this is actually a little bit bigger than I would want it. So you want it to be however, wherever you want it tightness wise, that's where you would stop, or you would actually stop right before that. So if I would have stopped right there, it would have been better, like right there. Because if this end was like to right there, but this will still be fine. This way I'll be able to slip it on and off easier. Okay, so now to finish it, you tape it to the table again. And this part's really simple. We're gonna divide it into 2 sections that are equal. So we have 10 strands, so we're gonna do 5 and 5, and it doesn't matter how you group them up. You can do whatever you want here. So 5 and 5, 5 here, 5 here. And then of each one of these, you're going to divide them into 3 sections so we can braid it. So the sections won't be even, and that's okay. So of this 5, we're gonna do 1, 2, and 2. And then we're just gonna braid it. So just your normal 3-strand braid. And then when you get to the end of your braid, you'll tie it in an overhand knot. Okay, so like here's where the end of my braid is. So then to tie an overhand knot, again, we just kind of loop it around in a circle like that. And then bring those ends from back to front up through there. Okay, so there's one. Same thing over here. So we have this bundle of 5, and we need it in 3 sections, and they will not be equal. So we have 1, 2, and 2, and then yours may be equal, like if you did a different number of strands or whatever, but it doesn't matter. So we're just going to braid this. And then when you're done braiding, just tie it in an overhand knot like that. Okay, and then you're ready to cut these off right about, leave like 1/2 inch at least at the end of those, like that. And then to tie this onto your wrist, you'll lay your wrist there, and you'll bring the loop up, and then you'll put one of your braids through the loop. Okay, so one braid is going through this loop, like that, and make sure it gets through all strands of the loop. And then you're just gonna tie the 2 braids together in like a square knot, so like how you would tie your shoes, and then a second time going the opposite direction. It doesn't really matter, you could tie this however, just in a knot. And you have made a friendship bracelet. Yay! So let me know down below if this was fun for you, if this brought back any memories, if you're gonna make some for you and your friend, all that stuff. And consider subscribing if you like this kind of thing, and give my video a like. I do lots of crafty stuff like this and other stuff with fabric and yarn and all that good stuff. Okay, thanks for watching.